Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto. One moment, just let me pull up the page. Oh wow, it's gone. Okay. We're on Canto 3, Chapter 25. So I'll just quickly.
We have done text 13. We are on 14th. Is it?
14, is it?
Yeah. We have done 13th and we have to start 14th.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. I'm just going to quickly pull it up. Chapter 25, right? And we have to start 14 now, you said.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
25, 14. Yes.
All right. Okay. So, thank you. Tam imam te pravakshyami yam avocham puranagehe rishinam shrotu kamanam yogam sarvanga punam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O most pious Mother, I shall now explain unto you the ancient yoga system, which I explained formally to the great sages. It is serviceable and practical in every way. The Lord does not manufacture a new system of yoga. Sometimes it is claimed that someone has become an incarnation of God and expounding a new theological aspect of the absolute truth. But here we find that although Kapila Muni is the Lord himself and is capable of manufacturing a new doctrine for his mother, he nevertheless says, I shall just explain the ancient system, which I once explained to the great sages, because they were also anxious to hear about it. When we have a super excellent process already present in the Vedic scriptures, there is no need to concoct a new system to mislead the innocent public. At present, it has become a fashion to reject the standard system and present something bogus in the name of a newly invented process of yoga. Does anyone remember anywhere else where Krishna says that he is repeating the knowledge which is there since before? He had spoken before.
In Bhagavad Gita also he said to Arjuna,
yes,
that I imparted this to sun god Vivasvan.
Yeah, that's right. So what's the understanding is that Krishna can manufacture, he's capable of, because he's the one who, what's that, Bhagavad to Sakshat, Dharmam to Sakshat Bhagavad Pranitam. You know, Krishna is the one, he propounds, he's the originator of all religious system. But he says, no, I will tell you the ancient one, which is already prevalent. For us also to understand, if someone is saying, oh, I'll give you something new, you know, we are all looking for something new, right? Updated. We think even the spiritual knowledge should be upgraded. We have iPhone, there's an old one, I need an upgraded one. So we think spiritual knowledge also is better to get upgraded one. But no, it's spiritual knowledge is eternal. It's the same, eternal. It's only in material things that material things deteriorate. And that's why we want newer and newer. But spiritual knowledge is eternal. So it's the same. Cheta kalavasya bandhaya muktaye chatmano matam guneshu saktam bandhaya ratam vapumsi muktaye. The stage in which the consciousness of the living entity is attracted by the three modes of material nature is called conditional life. But when that same consciousness is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is situated in the consciousness of liberation. So here Kapila Muni is explaining in very clear words to his mother Devahuti, what is conditioned life and what is liberated life. When we are attracted by three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the three modes of material nature is this. And that is conditioned life. We are the conditioned soul. But the same consciousness, because we are conscious, right? The living entity we are conscious depends on who we get attracted to, attached to. But when we are attached to the Supreme Lord, then that is liberation, consciousness of liberation. There is a distinction here between Krishna consciousness and Maya consciousness. Guneshu or Maya consciousness involves attachment to the three modes of material nature, under which one works sometimes in goodness and knowledge, sometimes in passion, and sometimes in ignorance. These different qualitative activities with the central attachment for material enjoyment are the cause of one's conditional life. So why do we get attracted to these three modes of nature? Is because we want to enjoy. We have that desire. I'm the controller, I'm the proprietor, I'm the enjoyer. That's when we come under the control of these three modes. When the same Chetaha or consciousness is transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, or when one becomes Krishna conscious, he's on the path of liberation. So get attached to Krishna, then that is the path of liberation. And so what is the easy way that we can do that? Get attached to Krishna.
Engage in loving devotional service.
Engaging in devotional service, that's right. Which begins by?
Hearing and chanting.
That's right. Thank you. Yes, thank you. So that's the process, and that's the path of liberation. Aham mamabhi manothe kamalova tibirmale vitam yada mana shuddham adhukham asukham samam. When one is completely cleansed of the impurities of lust and greed, produced from the false identification of the body as I and the bodily possessions as mine, one's mind becomes purified. In that pure state, he transcends the stage of so-called material happiness and distress. So right now, what's in our heart is lust and greed. And why is that? Why? Because we are thinking, I am this body. I'm a product of matter. We are thinking we are material. We are thinking we are the body. And everything connected to the body is mine. My body, my clothes, my gadgets, my whatever, my family, my everything, But Kapila Muni is saying when we become purified, when we understand, hey, I'm not the body, I'm a spirit soul. I'm a spirit soul, I have nothing to do with this matter. Then in that pure state, he transcends the stage of so-called material happiness and distress. It's called so-called. Here we are so affected by happiness, and we are trying we are always looking to get happy, and we are trying our best to avoid distress. And here it's called so-called. So-called. Why? Because it's not true. It's not who we truly are. It's not our real identity. Calm and lobha are the symptoms of material existence. Everyone always desires to possess something. It is said here that desire and greed are the products of false identification of oneself with the body. Desire and greed, calm and lobha. So till the time we continue thinking we are the body, we will continue to have this calm and lobha, because this is the symptom of material existence. When one becomes free from this contamination, then his mind and consciousness also becomes freed and attain their original state. So originally we are pure. Right now we are thinking we are the body. And because of that, this whole calm and lobha is coming. Mind, consciousness, and the living entity exist. Whenever we speak of the living entity, this includes the mind and consciousness. The difference between conditional life and liberated life occurs when we purify the mind and the consciousness. When they are purified, one becomes transcendental to material happiness and distress. So here, when we are saying living entity, It refers to the soul, not to the body. The soul is eternally conscious. That's the symptom. The symptom of the soul is always conscious. Like, what's the difference between matter and the living entity? Why is material energy called inferior, apara, and the living entity is called para? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. The difference, anyone? Why
Because
is
of
material nature?
consciousness.
G.
That's right.
Conscious.
That's right.
G. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it's because you see, we see the chair, it's not conscious. The table, it's not conscious. That's matter. But we, the living entity, we are conscious. We are the soul. So the chair is also different combination of earth, water, air, fire. Huh? And our material body is also different combination of earth, water, air, fire. But because we are inside the body, this body appears to be conscious, but the actual consciousness is belonging to the soul. That is the symptom of the living entity. So what we have to do is we have to purify this mind and consciousness. Now, how do we purify this mind and consciousness? The easy process is given to us is Harinam Sankirtan. We'll read now. I hear Prabhupada has given in the next verse. And then what happens? One becomes transcendental to material happiness and distress. When we purify ourselves, when we realize, oh, I'm not this body, I'm the soul, then we have nothing to do. Whatever is happening, doesn't affect us. In the beginning, Lord Kapila has said that perfect yoga enables one to transcend the platform of material distress and happiness. This is what is that? Krishna says that, right? Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma, na sochati na kankshati. It's the platform of the soul. That's the platform of the soul. A liberated platform. Understanding, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. So the perfect yoga system enables one to come to this platform. How this can be done is explained here. One has to purify his mind and consciousness. This can be done by the Bhakti Yoga system. As explained in the Narada Pancharatra, one's mind and senses should be purified. Tat paratvena nirmalam. One's senses must be engaged in devotional service to the Lord. So we want to purify our mind and consciousness. So there are many systems. There is the path of the, controlling the mind and senses by yam, niyam. Yoga process starts with that, yam and niyam, the do's and don'ts. And then asan, then dharana. So there are these different stages. And also in the path of knowledge, there are these different processes. Why? To control the mind and senses. So in Bhakti Yoga, how to control the mind and senses is senses engage in devotional service to the Lord. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. That just engage, because otherwise it's very difficult to control the mind and senses. It's not that the yoga system is not, bona fide. It is. But in Kali Yuga, it is very difficult for us to follow it. So the easy way is engage it in the service of the Lord. Our mind, very easy to think about Krishna. Look at the deity, do some service for Krishna, hear about him from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. But if we were just sitting, just sit, and we try to think, it gets very difficult. Our mind will go in 1,000 different directions. Then how are we going to control the mind? How will we purify our consciousness? It won't happen. So the process in Kali Yuga is this. The mind must have some engagement. One cannot make the mind vacant. Can we say that, okay, I'm going to free my mind of all thoughts. Okay, free my mind of all thoughts. But this is also a thought, right? Oh, I'm freeing my mind of all thoughts. But the very fact that I'm thinking this, it's also a thought. So how can we make the mind empty? Of course, there are some foolish attempts to try to make the mind vacant or void, but that is not possible. The only process that will purify the mind is to engage it in Krishna. The mind must be engaged. If we engage our mind in Krishna, naturally the consciousness becomes fully purified, and there is no chance of the entrance of material desire and greed. So first, Krishna says, just think about me. He says that, think of me, become my devotee. He says, first you fix my mind, your mind on me. Ambarish Maharaj did that. First, he fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Then he engaged his eyes, his hands, his nose, everything in the service of the Lord. So does it mean that, oh, if I fix my mind on Krishna, what you're trying to say, whole day I don't do anything? I just sit here and I just fix my mind on Krishna? It's not practical. How am I going to maintain my body? Any thoughts?
It's
Yeah.
not, it's difficult.
So
you should do all your activities, daily routine, keeping in mind Krishna.
That's right.
That is the slow process, and continues your hearing and chanting. Satata.
So, yes, thank you. Yes. And whatever
And-
we need to do it for
We
the
have to-
pleasure of Krishna.
Yeah, for the pleasure of Krishna. Like खाना भी बना रहे हो तो ये सोचो भगवान के लिए प्रसाद, भगवान को भोग लगाएंगे, बाद में खाएंगे तो वो प्रसाद बन जाएंगे.
Yeah. So like this, we can fix our mind on
Yes,
Krishna.
yeah.
So we can do all the activities
Yes.
and all the
Bring Krishna in
activities.
the center of your activities, basically.
Yes. Yes.
and
वो धीरे-धीरे ही आता है.
I'm sorry.
वो धीरे-धीरे आता है. Continuous करोगे तो.
Yeah.
and
I'm sorry,
this
Neha.
Yeah, and this reminds me of a very beautiful line we did yesterday. So if we simply learn how to love Krishna, then we can immediately transform this world into Vrindavan. And what you said, that we do this, that we keep this Krishna in the center of our life, but in association of devotees. That is very, very important.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and again, the same line of yesterday was going in my mind, and again, you brought this beautiful point today again. So this is really a nectar, what they say, that Srimad Bhagavatam is a nectar. So yes, it is.
Bhagavatam is
It doesn't,
yeah.
it doesn't let you forget Krishna. I mean, you want to forget, but then these lines, they never let you forget. Everything you do, I mean, without any effort, these lines just come to you because you are hearing it from a devotee. You are telling us, right? A devotee has written, we are hearing it from a devotee. And
Yeah.
that's why these
Sukadev
lines
Goswami.
are so powerful. Srila Prabhupada wrote, Sukadev Goswami said, and you are telling us. So these lines are so powerful that these just go in your head. That yes, Krishna, I mean, I just have to learn simply how to love you.
Yeah.
It is so
And
powerful.
Krishna, yeah, and this Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Krishna. So Bhagavatam is Krishna. And Krishna is the most attractive. Krishna attracts our heart. Bhagavatam is Krishna. So that's why, just somehow or the other, as you're saying, get attached to Bhagavatam. Very good, wonderful. Prabhupada said, you want to find Krishna, you will find him in the pages of Bhagavatam.
Yes, association.
Yeah, so
like as
wonderful.
we all say that we take the qualities of what we associate with, and this is true. I have felt we take the quality, like if there is fire, then definitely we'll burn our hand. There is no way that the fire could be. So definitely, if we associate with Bhagavad Gita, if we associate with Srimad Bhagavatam, yes, we will be in conscious of Krishna always. At least that is sure, that we will be with Krishna, because this is Krishna himself.
Wonderful. Thank you. And yesterday yesterday or day before, you brought up a point that when we see a hill, do we see that as Krishna? So then yesterday I was hearing Nishinga Maharaj's class, Bhakti Shastri on Bhagavad Gita, where it was like Krishna says, I am the taste of water. I am the light of the sun. So this is Krishna. This is the impersonal aspect of Krishna, but it is Krishna.
Yeah.
He is saying that I am the light of the sun and the moon. So the light of sun and moon is Krishna. When we are drinking water, that is Krishna. He's saying, I'm the taste of water. I'm the fragrance of the earth. So when we are smelling the flowers, then, or any fragrance, that is Krishna. So because Krishna has three aspects, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaneti, Shabdayate. All is Krishna, impersonal Paramatma and he himself. So all of it is Krishna. So I stand corrected. So yeah, go ahead and think, yes, the light of the sun is Krishna. He himself is saying that. That's his impersonal aspect, but it is him.
So when people say that God is light, we still so that's it.
God is light. Yes,
Yeah.
God is light. That is his
Krishna is
impersonal aspect. Yes, it is light. We are not God. That is the difference.
Yeah, right. As long as we say we are not God.
We are not God. Yes, we are also Brahman. Yes, we are also a tiny part of that light. We are the souls, right? So we are also Brahman. So we are just tiny part and parcel. Krishna is the supreme Brahman. That is something we have to understand. Okay, God is light. I am a part and parcel of God. I'm the soul, but I'm also Brahman, but I'm not the supreme Brahman. That is the difference only that we have to understand. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, and anyone who understands Krishna as Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagwan is a devotee of Krishna. Because Bhagavatam says that learned transcendentalists, Bhagavatam says learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagwan. At least accept, yes, there is God. Acceptance that, yes, there is God, So, so, did anyone want to add anything or say anything more? Share anything? We won't get, let's not get into another one. Any realizations anyone else wanted to share? No. So we can stop here. And of course, when we say association of devotees, hearing and chanting in the association of devotees, but it doesn't mean that we close ourselves to everyone else. Because if we close ourselves, then how are we going to give others Krishna? The point, yes, we hear and chant in the association of devotees, but don't, we shouldn't think, yes, you know what I mean? That, oh, no, this person is like, give association to them. Don't take the association. That's the point. But yeah, give them association. And how do you give them association? Be some way or the other, somehow or the other, you can connect people to Krishna, engage them in tiny services without they even coming to know. They will not even come to know. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, like how you can give a book, something like that. Right?
Yeah. That way. But yeah, hearing and chanting in the association of devotees, that is wonderful. Hearing should always be from a devotee.
Yeah, that's what I meant, because
from
otherwise it
Bhagavatam,
will not have any impact on us. If we just hear from anybody, then that will not
Bhagavatam.
then
Yes, it's true.
Yeah,
It's true. Like, I want
because
to read
I
this
still remember
verse.
I asked you one question. I still remember I asked you one question, that there are so many gurus who tell us and who say Bhagavatam, but then some of them don't have impact on our hearts. We just listen it and we come back and it really doesn't make any effect to us because they are not in the parampara.
Yeah, because yeah.
And maybe they themselves are
And
not purified.
yeah, and then maybe they have not heard it. Oh yeah, as you said, parampara. I'll just read one verse,
Yeah, sure.
Bhagavatam 1.1.3. Nigama kalpa taror galitam phalam sukha mukhad amrita drava samyutam pibatta bhagavatam rasam alayam muhur aho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadev Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. So hearing Bhagavatam is already nectarian, already very sweet Bhagavatam. But because it's being repeated by Sukadev Goswami, it's become even more sweeter. It's become even more relishable for everyone, including the Gyanis, liberated souls, the ones who are already liberated. Relish Bhagavatam, mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literatures. Mature fruit of desire tree of Vedic literature. Why? Because from the Vedas we get everything. Whatever we want, all knowledge is Vedas. All the knowledge that we have. We may say now we have so many different schools, universities, but where's the origin of all knowledge is coming from Vedas. So the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literature is Bhagavatam. Is the comment? It's the commentary on the Vedas is the Vedanta Sutra, and the essence of the Vedanta Sutra is Bhagavatam. And so it is very sweet. We are hearing from Sukadev Goswami. Very, very sweet. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Did you want to add anything?
No, like how, right, in Canto 1 it said now that Vedvyas Muni, he had compiled so many, all the Vedas, but that satisfaction, he was in despondency, he was not satisfied. So after, like, Narad Muni told him that, you need to write on the pastimes of Krishna. And that's where then, right, the satisfaction came, because it's all pastimes of Krishna in Bhagavatam.
Pastimes of Krishna, and also making it very clear that the path of going back home, back to Godhead, very easily for us, devotional service. Because in the Vedas and the Vedic literature, the path is given, yes, but it's very confusing. So one can get very distracted by those things. So then Narad Muni said, but you didn't describe about bhakti. You didn't describe bhakti. By this process of bhakti, people can immediately go back home, back to Godhead. And so you're feeling this despondency in the heart, because Vyasadev's, the reason he compiled all the Vedas, he recorded all the Vedas, was for us that, oh, Kali Yuga is coming. How will people get knowledge there? They don't have memory, so let me record it. So he recorded it, he divided it, he really organized it very well. He wrote the Vedanta Sutra also, the commentary on the Vedas. He was still not satisfied, because he said, well, how are the people actually really going to get the light in this age of Kali, which is full of darkness? How are they going to know what to do? I have not written about bhakti at all. And Narad Muni came in and told him the same thing. And so he said, yeah, okay, I'm going to write a Bhagavatam, and which is full of the narrations of Krishna and his devotees. So Bhagavatam has arisen to give us vision in this dark age of Kali.
हाँ हाँ, कृष्णा की ग्लोरी, गुणगान कृष्णा के,
Yeah.
वो भागवतम.
Yeah.
कृष्ण.
Yeah. Thank you. Jai. Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Hari Bol.
Hare Bol.